Hare Krishna, welcome to all the devotees in today's session of the Secrets of Bhagavad Gita. Om Ajnanatimarandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmeelitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Today we are going to discuss Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, text number 20. Let us start. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. It's a very important verse, one of the important verses of Bhagavad Gita. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Translation: For the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Purport: Qualitatively, the small atomic fragmental part of the Supreme Spirit is one with the Supreme. Please let us carefully note here. Qualitatively, the small atomic fragmental part of the Supreme Spirit is one with the Supreme. So here, the uh, an individual soul has been compared uh, with the Supreme Absolute Truth, or the Supreme Spirit. But the only comparison is that of quality. So if you take quality into account, then uh, an individual soul is of the same quality as that of the supreme soul or the supreme absolute truth. So qualitatively, there is no difference between an individual soul and God. So uh, there is a particular philosophy in Sanatan Dharma uh, called Mayavad, and they want to propagate the idea that there is only uh, one truth, and that is Brahman, and everyone is Brahman, and they do not distinguish between uh, Jivatma and Paramatma. For them, there is only one truth, that is Brahman or Paramatma. Even they equate Jivatma with Paramatma, but that is simply not true. So there are statements in the very scriptures that shows the abhed between, or non-difference between individual soul and the supreme soul. However, this when the non-difference has been mentioned in the very scriptures between soul and supreme soul, that is in terms of quality. So if we uh, compare any individual soul with the supreme soul, then there is no difference between the two as far as quality is concerned. But when we take quantity into account, then there is a difference. So quantitatively, uh, an individual soul is different from the supreme soul, because the supreme soul, or Lord Shri Krishna, the supreme absolute truth, is uh, above the influence of Maya or illusion, whereas an individual soul can come under the influence of Maya. So that is a huge difference between an individual soul and the supreme soul. Also, we being uh, uh, quantitatively very minute, so we do not have the power to create like God. So we can create something, but we cannot create like God. God can create universes, or he can create a whole material world, or he can manifest in many spiritual varieties. But an individual soul uh, cannot demonstrate the powers of God. So he may have some powers by the grace of God, but uh, in quantity, he is way below God or the supreme soul. So it is God who maintains us, the all individual souls. Nityo nityanam, chetanas chetnanam, ego bahunam yoviridhati kaman. So the supreme absolute truth, all the uh, super soul, the supreme soul, Lord Shri Krishna, we may call him by different names, but ultimately he is the supreme. So uh, he is uh, he is non-different from jiva only in terms of quality, but in quantity he is asamurtha. Asamurtha means there is no equal to him, and there is no one above him. So that's a clear difference between jiva and ishvara, or the supreme absolute truth. Next, he undergoes no changes like the body. So if we are talking about an individual soul, sometimes the soul is called to steady or kutastha. The body is subject to six kinds of transformations. So now these six kinds of transformations, or in Sanskrit we call it vikara. So these transformations have been mentioned here. It takes its birth from the womb of the mother's body. That's first transformation. Remains for some time, grows, produces some effects, gradually dwindles, and at last vanishes into oblivion. So that's about the material body. Material body experiences these six transformations, but soul does not undergo this transformation. So that is the difference between soul and material body. The soul, however, does not go through such changes. The soul is not born, but because it takes on a material body, the body takes its birth. So there is no birth for soul. The soul simply travels from one body to another, as we travel from uh, one vehicle to another vehicle. So it's not that we accept a body. It's simply that we are traveling. We are just changing one vehicle to another vehicle. So in a similar way, soul transmigrates from one body to another, but actually never gets birth. Whatever birth we see, that is of the material body. Next, the soul is not born, but because it takes on a material body, the body takes its birth. The soul does not take birth there, and the soul does not die. Because soul does not take birth, he does not die. Jatasya dhruva mrityu dhruvam janma mritasya. So one who takes birth has to die, and one who dies has to take birth. That's a law of material nature. However, soul never takes birth, so he never dies, and because he never dies, he never takes birth. Then who takes birth? That is body. Material body takes birth, material body dies. There is no birth and death for an individual soul. Anything which has birth also has death, and because the soul has no birth, it therefore has no past, present, or future. He is eternal, ever existing, and primeval. That is, there is no trace in history of his coming into being. So he is primeval uh, in the most literal sense, that he has no beginning. He is always existing. He is eternal. So generally, whatever we see in our life, that things has some uh, origin, they come into existence, and then they get destroyed. But such things do not happen uh, an uh, with an individual soul. A soul never comes into existence because it's always in existence. It's always existing. So that's something inconceivable for us because we are not used to see such things. So though we are that thing, and we are uh, whatever we see, that is uh, uh, that is birth and death every second. So all the time we see that there is some creation, there is some destruction. So it may be not within our experience of this current existence, but that is why we need to hear from the scriptures uh, to understand our uh, identity, our real identity, because uh, at death the body gets finished, and uh, we uh, cry for the loss of material body. But uh, at the same time, we also understand that the person who was within the body is no longer with us. It is simply his body. It is not that person who is lying here. So that person's body is with us, but now that person has gone somewhere else. So otherwise, there is no point to you know remove that body, or uh, burn that body. If you think that that person is the same lying down here, then why would we burn that person? So even though we emotionally attach ourselves to that particular body, uh, some dead body of our relative, however, we clearly understand it is painful, but we also understand that that person has gone somewhere else. Is no longer in the body. So he has used that this particular body throughout his life. However, now he is somewhere. At least he is not in this material body. Okay. Under the impression of the body, we seek the history of birth, etc., of the soul. So, due to bodily identification, we tend to identify body with the uh, soul. So, because body comes into existence, it undergoes transformations and it dies. So, similarly, we also try to find out how soul originated or how he's surviving, and we may be interested to know if there is death to soul. So, this kind of uh, inquiries are pointless because the nature of soul is always eternal. So out of ignorance, we may think like that, that soul also might have some origin. But the simple answer from various scriptures and also from our own experiences, that soul always exists. It is, and that's the reality. What we are seeing with our eyes, that's not the reality. We are seeing material bodies of someone, and we are interacting with that, with souls. We are not interacting with only bodies. because material bodies, uh, by nature, they are dead. They are lifeless. So we are interacting with souls, uh, but we often forget to uh, understand this reality, that soul is carrying this body, and uh, it will uh, go through go to another body after a certain duration of time. So uh, based on his current activities, soul will transmigrate from one body to another. So that's the reality, as mentioned in Vedic scriptures and many other religions. So the attempt to understand the history of soul is simply useless, because there won't be such history, because there was no history. There is no history of soul. The soul does not at any time become old as the body does. Now that's also another characteristic, because those who get birth, only they get old age, or get this six transformations. So here, soul uh, does not become old. So the idea that this soul may be older than this particular another soul, that is also wrong. So all souls are of equal age. And we can say like that, that they are eternal. So they were always existing. So there is nothing like someone older to someone, or someone is junior to someone. So that's the eternal nature of soul. The so-called old man therefore feels himself to be in the same spirit as in his childhood or youth, and that our experiences also tally with this fact, that we are always the same person. We are always young. So whatever transformations we see, someone is old, someone is female, someone is dog, or whatever. So these are all transformations of body. It's not we the spirit souls. Next, the so-called old man therefore feels himself to be in the same spirit as in his childhood or youth. The changes of the body do not affect the soul. The soul does not deteriorate like a tree, nor anything material. So soul never undergoes the process of decaying. So it never gets uh, diminished its by its size, or in any way. It does not get destructions. The soul has no byproduct either. So now that's also important for us to understand, that soul does not produce any byproduct. So a body may produce some byproducts, such as sons and daughters, and um like like that. But for soul, there is nothing like any byproduct. So in one sense, we do not have father, we do not have mother, and we are actually not father and mother of anyone, because we simply do not create anyone. So that sounds very uh, astonishing, but that is the fact, that we are no one's parents, we are no one's children. So whatever role of parents or children we have received in this material world, that is due to our current material body. So with respect to this material body, we have to uh, perform our dharma, because that is also an order of Lord Shri Krishna, because he has created everything, and everyone should be maintained. Uh, so obedient servants of Lord Shri Krishna, or surrendered souls to God, they are always in harmony with God, and they always follow God's order or Lord Shri Krishna's orders given in the form of dharma. So we should not conclude that because we are no one's parents, we are no one's children, so let's give up all our duties and do what? So that's also another question. So we are supposed to serve Krishna, and that is sufficient for any soul. Uh, and in fact, that's the only duty we have. But because we have accepted material body, and because we also have some material uh, needs or material demands, so we have to uh, follow the guidelines given by Lord Shri Krishna, how we can fulfill our material demands and at the same time practice devotional service or bhakti yoga, so that we can regain our lost consciousness or Krishna consciousness. So we are supposed to be uh, in a loving relationship with Krishna, and that's our constitutional position, as Srila Prabhupada explains in um, uh, many places in Bhagavad Gita. So that's our real nature. But forgetting that real nature, we have accepted material body, material existence, and now we have to somehow continue this material existence. We can't simply give up this material body artificially. That is also not advisable. So whatever we have to make the best use of bad bargain. So Srila Prabhupada always gives this analogy: best use of bad bargain. We have to uh, now whatever we have, now we have to make best use of best, best use of it. So we cannot throw it, and it's not simply possible. So and there is no need of giving up anything. So what we have to give up is our attachment to different things. So somehow the we are not working for the giving up material attachment. So those are Falgu Vairagi, or who always believe in such dry renunciation. So they tend to think everything is mithya or false, and they give up everything without realizing that everything has got purpose in Krishna's service. So those are who are grahasthas. They should also think like that. That everything has got purpose in Krishna's service. So their so-called wife, their so-called children, so they are all related to Krishna, and they all need to be maintained, and they all have a role to play in Krishna's service. So in that spirit, we have to connect everyone with Krishna. So they are also preachers. Everyone has to be preacher. Everyone has to preach Krishna consciousness and bring every single soul back to Krishna. So why not family members? And uh, every soul who is engaged in these material bodies, they also need some maintenance. Their body needs maintenance. So if Krishna has given us some duty towards some individual souls who are acting as our relatives, our wife, children, etc., then we should take it as an order of Lord Shri Krishna, and we should not forget our real duty of becoming Krishna conscious and helping them becoming Krishna conscious. So that is our real duty. If we simply take interest in maintaining our family members, then that is same as animal life, because among animals too we see such taking care of material bodies. So that's not uh, some achievement. That's not surprising either. So having achieved this human form of life, we are not simply uh, supposed to act as animals. So we have to cultivate Bhagavad Dharma or Bhakti Dharma. And uh, as per Dharma or guidelines given in Dharma Shastras, we are supposed to lead our life and maintain our family members if we are supposed to be grahasthas. And those who are uh, Viraktas, then their only duty is to preach Krishna consciousness, inspire others to become Krishna conscious, to imbibe Krishna consciousness. So, in one sense, we all have to become Krishna conscious. That's our real duty. And however, we also our material bodies need some maintenance. So, even renunciant, they also have to work for the body. It's not that they can neglect their body. They also take bath. They also feed the body. So, grahasthas, they have to feed some three, four bodies. So that's the only difference. But everyone has to take care of the body. Next, the byproducts of the body, namely children, are also different individual souls, and owing to the body, they appear as children of a particular man. The body develops because of the soul's presence, but the soul is neither offshoots nor change. Therefore, the soul is free from the six changes of the body because body cannot produce anything. So uh, we can say that it does not undergo any transformation. In the Katha Upanishad 1 to 1:8, we also find a similar passage which reads, Najayate mrideva vipaschin, nayam kutaschin na babhuva kaschit, ajo nitya shashvato yam purano, na hanyate hanyamane shari. So it's a similar passage as given in this verse. The meaning and purport of this verse is the same as in the Bhagavad Gita, but here in this verse there is one special word, vipaschit, which means learned or with knowledge. Basically, uh, soul's one of the characteristics of soul is that he is full of knowledge, vipaschit. So he is knowledgeable. So he is not ignorant. The soul is full of knowledge or fully always with Krishna, with consciousness. Therefore, consciousness is the symptom of the soul. So, uh, whenever we find the signs of consciousness, we can understand that there is soul there. So, it's very uh, easy to understand the existence of soul. So, if you find such symptoms, the signs of consciousness anywhere, even in plants or anywhere, we should understand that there is soul. Even if one does not find the soul within the heart where it is situated, one can still understand the presence of the soul simply by the presence of consciousness. So, the other day we talk about the size of soul and the location of the soul. The size of the soul is very uh, 1/10,000 part of the tip of the hair, and its location is the region of heart. So, if we try to find soul in that particular heart region, and if we are not successful, so there is no need to worry. We can still feel the presence of the soul by consciousness. So that's the simplest experiment we all can have, and we all understand it. It doesn't need more than common sense to understand that there is soul, where is consciousness, and where is uh, when, when there is no consciousness and there is no soul. Sometimes we do not find the sun in the sky owing to clouds or for some other reason, but the light of the sun is always there, and we are convinced that it is there for daytime. So, to make us understand, Srila Prabhupada is given this analogy of clouds covering the sun. So, sometimes clouds may cover the sun, but and we may not able to see the sun. But that does not mean that we uh, take it as night. We do not treat this particular situation where clouds cover the sky or cover the sun as night, because by the uh, brightness of the day we understand that sun is in the sky and he is uh, radiating his rays. So we may not be able to see the sun directly, but through his rays we can understand that it is a daytime. So similarly, through consciousness, we can understand that there is soul. As soon as there is a little light in the sky early in the morning, we can understand that the sun is in the sky. Similarly, since there is some consciousness in all bodies, whether man or animal, we can understand the presence of the soul. This consciousness of the soul is, however, different from the consciousness of the Supreme, because the Supreme Consciousness is all knowledgeable, past, present, and future. The consciousness of the individual soul is prone to be forgetful. When he is forgetful of his real nature, he obtains education and enlightenment from the superior lessons of Krishna. But Krishna is not like the forgetful soul. If so, Krishna's teachings of Bhagavad Gita would be useless. So, here the difference between the supreme soul, Lord Shri Krishna, and individual soul has been given. So, an individual soul may forget something, but that is not the case with Lord Shri Krishna. Lord Shri Krishna knows past, present, and future. So he can never forget uh, in any circumstances. So, but that is not the situation with the individual soul. So sometimes uh, we forget something, uh, and someone has to remind us. So that is our limitation. But such limitation does not exist in Krishna, and that is why Krishna has to remind us about his teachings. So he uh, time and again appears in this material world and gives this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita through his devotees like Arjuna, uh, and it's our duty to receive this knowledge in a humble spirit and act on it. So, because we are insignificant individual souls who can never be equal to Lord Shri Krishna, and we need lessons from Lord Shri Krishna to understand our real position and come back to Him. So, uh, this should give us or generate humility in us that we are so insignificant before Lord Shri Krishna that we tend to forget Him, the most lovable object of our life. So that's something very serious subject matter. That how can we forget someone who is the most uh, worshipable object of our life? Okay, there are two kinds of souls, namely the minute particle soul Anu Atma and the super soul Vibhu Atma. It is also confirmed in the Kathopanishad 1 to 20 in this way. Anoraniyan mahato mahiyan atma se jantor nihito guhayam tamak kratu pashyati vit shoko dhatu prasadan mahimanam. So again, the difference of between individual soul or uh, ordinary soul and super soul or supreme soul or Krishna has been described this time from Kathopanishad. So the difference is that uh, both are souls, but one is great, whereas another or ordinary soul is um his uh, anu. Anu means is insignificant compared to uh, the supreme soul. Let me read the translation. Both the super soul Paramatma and the atomic soul Jivatma are situated on the same tree of the body within the same heart of the living being, and only one who has become free from all material desires as well as lamentation can, by the grace of the Supreme, understand the glories of the soul. So that's also a difference between an individual soul and supreme soul. That individual soul experiences material desires. He experiences lamentations because uh, all his material desires do not get fulfilled, and that generates anxieties or lamentation. But that is not found in the Supreme Soul, Lord Shri Krishna. Krishna is the fountainhead of the Super Soul also, as it will be disclosed in the following chapters. And Arjuna is the atomic soul, forgetful of his real nature. Therefore, he requires to be enlightened by Krishna or by his bona fide representative, the spiritual master. So, coming back to the original scene of Mahabharata, that Lord Shri Krishna wants Arjuna to uh, execute his duty as a Kshatriya and do not be worried about uh, the consequences of the war, because that anyway is in not Arjun's hands, and these situations are not unique to Arjuna. Many times we all see that we find ourselves in situations where things are not in our control. Future is also not in our control. We may speculate about the future, but sometimes uh, it is simply not within our control to uh, control the future. So when these is the situations of all living beings, so the only guidance or only direction we receive from very scripture is to follow our individual dharma without thinking too much about the future. So are supposed to think about our future, and we should think about our future, but sometimes uh, things can be very complex, so we may not be able to see our future. So in under those circumstances also we are supposed to follow our dharma. So that is the lesson from Bhagavad Gita teaching, and Arjuna has been advised to simply carry out his duty, though he has some concerns, uh, but thus those concerns are uh, simply unavoidable, because kshatriyas are meant to fight for dharma, and whenever they fight there will be some loss of death, loss of uh, people or material bodies. So that's simply unavoidable. So, and similar challenges are there in uh, all individual dharma. So as a woman or as a husband or as a father or as children, everyone has to follow their own dharma, and there will be challenges. But without thinking about the challenges, we have to perform our dharma with detachment. That's the lesson we get from this particular scene. Okay, I will stop here. If there is any question, we can take. Vivek Pro, anything to say?
No question.
Okay. Okay, let us stop here. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता यज्ञ की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. हरे कृष्ण. Thank you for joining.